Hello there and welcome to this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. That is the incident that will dominate the AFL narrative over the next 24, 48 hours. Does Stephen May have a case to answer? These are the guys who will break it down for you. Damo's turning political correspondent today. The Tassie election yesterday, what will that mean for the new Tassie team? Great to have Izzy back. He's sitting in for Rory. Matthew Lloyd's deep dive today focuses on one of the all-time greats. If you're a Carlton supporter, you don't want to miss this. And my little mate Nath, he's a Tiger man once again. And why not? That's all coming up on a bumper edition of the Sunday Footy Show. Hello there and welcome to this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. It is great to have your company. Damien Barrett will kick us off. And was something going on behind me when I was just doing the intro?
It was, TJ. We may as well go straight there because he is back today, Izzy Smith. He's a shooting star in the world of TV media. But have a look when you only moments ago... Look, Izzy, you are exploding the contents of your nose into that tissue on live TV.
Yeah, well, I had a runny nose and I need to get rid of it. It was Tony Smith doing it, so I thought, no.
I'm sorry, we do that live.
No, little craft issue there.
Yeah. No, well, that's
Don't blow your nose on TV.
But that's why I come on to shows like this and learn off people like you know. I won't do it next time.
What do you mean shows like this? What other shows do you do?
No, I'm just saying you learn off very experienced people on shows like this.
And Matthew, of course.
Yes, I think he knows better. Like so,
knows.
He knows because I reckon he's a commercial beast, this man, and I think he's looking at a bit of a side deal, something like that. But can't wait for today's games as well. Collingwood, Fremantle, and the Gold Coast versus Adelaide, two season shapers today.
And I think, we'll do this later in the show, but there's a lot of support for Fremantle against Collingwood today.
Yeah, I like their chances big time today.
No, it is down this end. Yeah, no, and I think they've delivered footy over the last couple of months that holds up. So
and Hayden Young back.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how they go against Collingwood. They're the benchmark at the moment, and I think it's a big game of football.
OK, well, that end will revisit that a little later on. How are you anyway?
I'm great, thanks, TJ. Up and about. What a great way to send a Sunday morning.
Yes,
Easy, great energy. Missed Rory, but energy down this end is very good.
You've really segregated the desk, haven't you? It's sort of haves and haves nots now.
I'm three-quarters full, almost full. People talk about half full, half empty. I'm always positive. I'm an optimist. And I'm looking, before we get into the round results, I'm looking down the panel chat and there's a thing, number 2 here, said, heard Damo. Now, Damo... what's that? Because you haven't gone with it. And I'm a bit concerned that there are so many things on this show these days that we're not allowed to go for and we're not allowed to talk about. And there could be another one that our host has said we can't talk about.
I think we're sidestepping again, Browny, today. Management has barred us from another topic.
Oh, no, that's not right. That's not right at all.
What's not right about it?
What's what?
What's not right about it?
This is the quarter empty, is it?
Yeah.
What happened to 3/4 full?
It's an 8 empty at the moment. Is there something we're not allowed to talk about with you? Again?
No.
Because I did ring the boss, Brent Williams, last week to see if I could talk about something, and I got a flat no from Brent to say, do not go there. And then there was another one this week that we wanted to talk about.
When you say...
And you have been in discussions with the producer all morning, aggressive discussions about things we can't talk about.
They're hardly aggressive. He's the producer. We talk. You know how you got, like you said, you got a flat no from Brent Williams. Was it as flat as the no you got from Foxtel and Seven when you...
No.
So he's going down that path.
Talk about it. Cut the tension.
All righty, let's look at the results. Football so far, Damo.
Giants, 48 points. They won by 8 goals. The Brisbane Lions, 10 points over the Bulldogs. The Hawks are very good in the wet against Port Adelaide. Sydney, back-end form has been good. The Blues finally got a win over the Demons. And Richmond, outstanding last night against the Eagles.
And the 3 matches that remain in round 19 will all shape the top 8. Geelong playing St Kilda, the first of those 3, then 2 massive ones, Collingwood, Fremantle, and then Adelaide versus Gold Coast. They are huge games in this particular season, and all those positions, apart from the number 1 spot there, will change as a result of the outcomes of those games. As we flip to the bottom 10, we see Sydney still a chance, way off with percentage, and that is going to pose a problem, I feel. But they're winning, and there's still a chance. Big game against GWS upcoming, and North Melbourne back where it knows and seems to be very comfortable. Second last time.
That's empty. You jump on board. He's fully empty.
Will you say that to Toby Pink when he joins us for the handball later?
Oh, it's not Toby Pink's problem. He's actually... Well, Toby's actually
Whose problem
going okay.
Is it, Damo? Whose
it's
problem
Alistair Clarkson's, Brownie, and we will talk about it when we get to what happened yesterday. yesterday against the Swans.
Hang on, weren't you on their bandwagon a couple of weeks ago?
No, they had a nice period of 8 weeks where they still only managed to win 3 games, by the way, but they played OK for 8 weeks. But outside of that 8 weeks, they're back where they have been for 6 years, either last or second last on the ladder.
Carlton obviously has been under a lot of pressure in the last month in particular. The pressure was eased a little bit last night. They were under pressure against Melbourne, but they managed to walk away with the 4 points.
They did, but Damo, the big talking point was Stephen May.
It was, and it's going to be talked about, as you say, TJ, for some days, and we'll see what the Matthew office says about it. So Francis Evans is the man who comes in there and is contacted by Stephen May. And look, we've all got views on it. The only one that's going to matter, close of play today, is the match review office. I'd be surprised if he's not given 3 weeks. We'll have a look at a semi-form of precedent in a moment. But, guys, over to you, because I feel he will get 3 weeks. I don't like the fact he's going to get 3 weeks. I think if he does take it to the tribunal, he may get off, as Alex Pearce did. But your views on this?
Well, you're looking at the vision. The hard thing for Stephen May is he actually doesn't change his line. He's going straight through the contest. The only thing that I can see the MRO picking up is that he didn't stay low and he came up a couple of steps before he got to the contest, and that's what caused the impact. But it's a line ball, and it's going to be fascinating to see where it ends up.
As you say that, where's the rule says you can't go low to approach a football?
Yeah, it doesn't. There's no rules around that. The only thing is the contact with the head now, and they're being so strong on that. So it's going to be a fascinating test case. I feel for Stephen May here because I feel like he was contesting the ball. Obviously, Evans is a smaller player to what he is, but the only thing I could see that he possibly could have done is stay lower and try and make contact shoulder to shoulder.
Did he elect to bump Damo? Because that seems to be the buzzword every time we have one of these. I don't think Stephen May elected to bump. I think it was just running through and he braced himself, and yes, he got him high, but I do feel for him. And when you slow it down, it looks much worse. But what else do you want Stephen May to do?
I'm with you, Browny. I'm absolutely with you. And I also asked the question to the ex-footballers is what responsibility is there on Francis Evans for that moment as well? Because he went in without fear, and that's obviously courageous in itself. But had he been required to have an onus of responsibility...
What was he supposed to do?
Well, maybe take the step that we're asking Stephen May to take in that moment, to realise that he is going to be exposed to his head with that moment.
I don't think he did anything but grab the ball and look to spin his way out of it, Damo. So Francis Evans can't do much else than that.
You've been in this situation.
Yeah, I have, and as I said, I haven't played for 15 years, but I remember it was the same rules when I was playing, that if you hit someone in the head, you're gone. And I was all set to get Chris Judd, and at the last second, I opened myself up because I knew if I braced and even hit Judd in the head, I'd be gone. So
and that's 15 years ago.
That was 15 years ago, and we hit each other down the front. So I was just looking...
Were you going for the ball, or were you going to bump him? It looked like Stephen May was going for the ball.
Yeah, but I think May, as... He sort of just turns and hits him.
And that'll be the
shoulder.
argument. Can you open up? Could you have tackled?
So that's what I was
other
thinking.
things
Could he open up that way rather than turning that way?
Was he turning to avoid contact?
It looked like it. Yeah, he was.
Was he trying to get out of the way?
Yes.
So he may have been.
So any good defence will go to the tribunal.
They will.
And say, hang on, you can see it. The split second, he realises what's about to happen, and he does balk.
And when you refer to a good defence, Alex Pearce's defence got him off at the tribunal after what happened to him when he contacted Darcy Byrne-Jones. Was given 3 matches by the match review office. They took it to the tribunal, and the referencing in the defence was that the fact he dropped his arms in that moment, to Llordo's point, actually mitigated and minimised the outcome for him personally. So I feel it's
You're saying there's a precedent there, Damo?
There's no 2 incidents that are exactly the same, but I think there's enough around that case to use in the May defence.
Do you think it'll go straight to the tribunal?
I think it'll be 3 weeks and they'll challenge it, yep.
Yeah, I think you can see him getting no weeks and you can see him getting 4 weeks. So it's going to be fascinating where it falls. Well, the more I look at it, I think no weeks.
Right. So, for a guy who's been concussed, lost a tooth.
Yeah, well, that's the hard thing. You're playing a contact sport, you're playing football, and you look at the Alex Pearce one, May has not done anything to initiate that contact. That's the difficult
Llordo, what do you
thing.
reckon?
I think he'll go, unfortunately, TJ. But one thing is, I thought Pearce would be gone, and I thought because the rules have changed, so you knock someone out, doesn't matter whether you brace. I've seen some others where they've braced. I remember Lockie Plowman knocked someone out. It was against Hawthorn, I think. And I thought, there's no way he can go because he was just going and protect himself, and he went. And I thought, OK, I've just got to change my mindset. But with Pearce getting off, you never know what could happen.
I think he should get off, and I think they should defend it as hard as they can.
If he does get off, the AFL then has the right to actually challenge that
Yeah, they do. But if they've, interestingly enough, and we'll discuss this in detail in agenda later in the show, Greg Swan starts officially tomorrow. It's almost his first item of business as he gets in there as chief of the football department of the AFL. The game obviously was won by Carlton, lost by Melbourne. Melbourne's only got 6 wins to this point of this season, and their coach, Simon Goodwin, last night was quite angry with how the match started.
Yeah, frustrating, but disappointed and angry at the same time. I thought our start was way off. If you take the result away from it, you're looking to build unconditional behaviours and unconditional in the way that you play, and we're trying to build something. And when you start like that, it's probably the second time in the last 4 weeks where we're a fair way off from a role execution and an intensity of the game. That's incredibly frustrating and angry, because that was probably the part of the game that really cost us the game.
Well, Carlton's had a poor year, there's no doubt about that, and I reckon they've got a lot of injuries, but their best players haven't been at their best. Curno's been down, Cripps has been down, and this man, Jacob Weitering, had been down. Ever since he's rolled his ankle, he's looked a bit cumbersome, he's looked a bit slow. They sent Jake Melsham to him yesterday, but I thought he was back to his best, and one of the key reasons Carlton won last night was because of Jacob Weitering. He read the ball so well. Melsham had his worst game for about 5 or 6 weeks because of this man, Jacob Weitering. So I think he's the key to Carlton. He's the rock. They've been pretty good defensively, but he was sensational. Curno had his best game in a long time. Cripps was outstanding. Jacob Weitering, he had his movement back, which he hasn't had. And even this, so he's got young Turner there. Just when Weitering reads the ball like this and can mark like that, Carlton are a different team. So it was fantastic to have. No one talks about Carlton's injuries. They've got heaps, Stacks, Sam Walsh, Mackay. No one's given them that out. But when their senior players play like that, they're half a chance to win some games.
Did anyone have Melbourne in the 8 at the start of the year?
No.
OK.
One of the reasons they won was Jacob Weitering. One of the reasons the Demons almost won was Kozzy Pickett. He was outstanding. 5 goals and 23 disposals. But I thought Carlton went into this game not knowing what was going to happen with Kozzy Pickett. It was like they were caught off guard, the amount of times that Pickett found space. So started in the centre bounces, which he is, and he attends all centre bounces, and then he'd spit forward and he'd go. And it was almost like the Carlton players weren't sure who needed to go to, which surprised me that they hadn't planned for this. It's what he's been doing. It's why he's so good. And I thought they got caught off guard. Maybe they did have a plan last night, but I couldn't see that plan. And when you kick 5 and have 23, it means your plan hasn't worked.
Yeah, and what I love is that Melbourne have identified how to best play Kozzy Pickett now, so we're now seeing the best of him. And he kicks those goals. He kicks 1 beautiful snap on his left, 2 on his right. He's got all the tricks, and they're maximising him at the moment.
Hawthorn and Port Power in Tassie, and well, it was an intriguing contest, this one, because the contest was going on at the polls that we'll talk about later, but this one here had its own sort of theatre.
Yeah, and the subplot being the Jack Ginnivan versus Ken Hinkley motion from last year's semi-final, and then Jack, in this particular game, kicked a goal. He's been very good this year, and there it is. You're not flying anywhere, Jack, is what Ken Hinkley said to him last year, and that it sparked the brawl. And Kenny liked it, the plain motion that spun off the furore out of the semi-final last year. And then Ken's post-match thumbs up to Jack.
Paybacks, I was going to say something else, then, wasn't I? Paybacks, deserved. Look, I have no problems with it, and I'm okay with it. I think it's good for the game, the theatre of the game, and good on Jack. I mean, brave enough to go out there and play the way he played and do what he needed to do. And Hawthorn themselves as a club, I won't be one that sits here and be anything but acknowledge that it was my turn today.
That's great. Can I just ask about Ken Hinkley? Sort of the shot there, sort of sitting by himself, basically, in the box. Is he, and I know we've spoken about this verbatim, but is he there just for the optics at the moment?
Yeah, it looked like, I reckon, after their bye 2 or 3 weeks ago, that certainly it had changed. Ken Hinkley was no longer on the bench. He was up there in the box, and he doesn't have the phone there as much. It's more Josh Carr has done it a lot more. So we've spoken about him a lot. I was wondering whether next week the showdown would be potentially a chance to celebrate Ken and his career, or do they just see it out to the end?
Well, I think they should celebrate Ken in a showdown, because he has been massive there for a decade. But I love that they've got Ken there, and it doesn't matter what happens to Port in the next month. He's protecting Josh Carr of any loss or anything that might happen. So I'd keep him there and let Josh Carr go to work and do what he needs to do.
Alrighty, and of course yesterday the Sydney Swans got the better of North Melbourne. Nath, there was one bloke in particular who you were really impressed with.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Isaac Heaney. He was best man on the ground, but I thought Brodie Grundy, I think he's been in career best form, and yesterday 19 hit-outs to 4 to advantage. Now, hit-outs are, you get a lot of hit-outs in this game, but when you're doing it to advantage, he's on the top of his game at the moment. He is a beast. Look, there's been times where you've questioned Brodie Grundy and his impact on the game, but right now I think he's the best and fairest winner. Just have a look at this tap here. Just rolling through, doesn't kick the goal, but this happened all day. When you get an undersized ruckman, he just did the job. Look at this one to Errol Goulden. Have a look, that is a perfect one. Not much comes of it, but this happened all day. 19 of it. And then he's doing this. He hasn't done this for a long time. Getting back and taking those intercept marks and running off. Brodie Grundy. There's 2 more. I love this. I love this. We haven't seen Brodie Grundy do this. That is just commitment to what you're doing. And then the last 2 are tap outs. I'm going to pause it right here. Isaac Heaney had a birthday yesterday, most of it because of Brodie Grundy. Have a look at these tap-outs and then watch him go. Watch him go around the side. There's Isaac Heaney to go and kick another goal. That is the perfect tap. I think he just put on a clinic yesterday, Brodie Grundy. I think Isaac was the best man on the ground, but I love what Brodie did.
Yeah, Nath, you didn't want to talk about Isaac Heaney. You did a little bit at the end, but I do. I thought he was outstanding, and the reason I do is because they've got Mills back playing good football. They've got Goulden back playing great football, and it means that Heaney can then go about his work. And he kicked goals, but he kicked them all in different ways, which I loved. And then you highlight that stoppage work that they were able to get to work. He was clearly the best player on the ground, and he makes Sydney Swans such a different side when he's able to just go and play his game because he's got the other players underneath him.
Is he also clearly the best AFL Isaac ever?
Probably not, Damo. No, I wouldn't have thought.
You've got him covered, haven't you?
Isaac's record suggests he's still number 1, Damo. Unbelievable what Isaac has done, Isaac Smith has done. But just on North, Damo quite rightly was critical of them early and why they're 17th, and there was a sign they had up on their board or a message, and you can see here, we look better when we're changing angles, and I didn't see them changing angles. They kicked 53 points. You've got to make the ground big. So North Melbourne, I look at it, you've got to make it big so holes open up and you can change the lanes. So they're just going very much straight up and down because I didn't see, like, they're a long way off AFL standard in so many aspects. So we've questioned their defence a lot this year. Now I'm questioning their ball movement. So when you win a ball like that and you get a turnover, you should be just bursting out. Players should be going out wide, and then it opens up for the inside midfielders, and wingers should be pressing. You watch Collingwood play today, and they make the ground huge. They change the angles and the lanes. Like, you should not end up in a back pocket when you've marked the ball centrally.
Is it the chicken or the egg, though? Is it the guy that marks it not pulling the trigger, or is it the guys down the field? Because when I actually watch a little bit of this vision, there are ability, and we don't have the full ground vision, there is ability to pull the trigger, but the guys that are getting the ball aren't pulling it.
Well, look at the confusion here, and then you end up there. So I don't think players work in tune with each other well enough at North Melbourne.
And when you head to Sydney next year as an assistant, I mean, did you see anything out of that sort of gives you hope?
I don't know what you're talking about, Tony.
We spoke about it when you were here last time.
Yeah, I know. It was just an article in the paper and it sort of went nowhere from there. But, no, I think Sydney are in a great position. They could actually sneak into the finals, and to me, they've got one of the best midfields in the comp, so it's great to see Coxie getting some wins.
North Melbourne won't sneak into the finals for a whole variety of reasons. Draft picks?
Well, TJ, as we know, they decided to trade within the draft last year, their first round pick of 2025. And when you then see them now, after round 19, fall again to being second last on the ladder, it's a disastrous call. They clearly felt they were going to be challenging for the finals, even the way they set up with what they did in the draft last year. And so this will be a 6th consecutive season as we sit here this morning where they are either last or second last on the ladder. It's the 3rd year of Alastair Clarkson's coaching, and I know that I may be banging on about this regularly, but I still am yet to see any form of significant change at that footy club under Alastair Clarkson's coaching. And while people say what's next, I don't claim to know. He will be coaching next year. He's got 2 years in a contract to remain. Clearly he goes into 2026, but they're going to have to start seeing results in 2026.
But I mean, it's all very well to sort of, and I know you're not saying the coach needs to move on, but you bring someone in, who's to say someone's going to be better than Alastair Clarkson?
Well, they couldn't be worse. They couldn't be worse. So let's just, I mean, and again, Alastair Clarkson's last 2 years at Hawthorn were non-finals years too. They fell off a cliff to a point. So he's now had himself 5 years of really subpar performances. Obviously one of the all-time greats, Alastair Clarkson. But his past 5 years, 2 at Hawthorn, 3 at North Melbourne, have been far from good.
What was his greatest strength?
Oh, I think bringing the players together and it is around the game plan stuff. I look at it at the moment, he just does not have the cattle, and his last 2 years at Hawthorn, he didn't have the cattle to produce. They were bringing in players, and you look at Hawthorn's build compared to North Melbourne. North Melbourne have a lot of high draft picks. Hawthorn do, but they were there for 4 or 5 years before Clarko left. So Mitch took over when he had some of these players coming in. The other thing at Hawthorn is they brought in Battle and Barras. If you could sit those two at North Melbourne, I think you see a completely different team. I just think they get opened up way too much defensively.
But should they have the cattle, though, with all the draft picks?
Well, technically they should, but they had turmoil for 5 or 6... Like, I think Luke McDonald was talking about he's had 6 or 7 coaches in his time.
But you mentioned Hawthorn. Hawthorn started behind them on this current rebuild.
Well, on the ladder,
Melbourne.
technically on the ladder.
They were behind North Melbourne.
When
they made the transition from Clarkson to Mitchell, they were behind North Melbourne.
That's a club with strong stability, strong board, where North Melbourne haven't had that. You've gone through...
Richmond in 1 year has gone ahead of them.
Well, have they?
On the ladder, at least.
Yeah, well, I reckon if you look at it over the next 2 or 3 years, you'll see North Melbourne shoot up quicker than Richmond.
All right, let's talk about Richmond, because they chalked up their 5th win of the season, which in the eyes of many pre-season was 5 more than expected.
Maurice Rioli, what about... He had his best game at AFL level.
He did, and the thing I loved about Maurice Rioli was the rundown tackle. This is as good a vision, and if you're selling vision to anyone to watch this game of football, how good's this? He started 30 metres behind him, and any Rioli you've ever seen watch the game, they have highlights like this. But I guess what I loved about Maurice is they sent him back to the VFL to play VFL, apply his trade as a midfielder, and he's coming and he's making a big impact. He wasn't
Look at this, the smother, but then the ball control here with
brilliant.
Foot initially.
And then the ability, and whatever Rioli has, is the selfless nature to give it off as well. And it's just brilliant to see him in full flight, and we're starting to see the best of him.
But that's great management, isn't it, by Richmond?
Great management, great coaching. And I think Adam Uze would have sat him down and identified that, mate, we want you to go back. We want you to learn how to play midfield at VFL level, and then we're going to bring you back in and we're going to give you a good opportunity to make a go at it. And he's repaid the faith there.
Well, let's have a look at one clip from this game to show where development is and where it isn't. So Richmond win the ball at half-back, and the game is still basically on the line. I'm going to ask here, I'm going to pause it. Tim Kelly, I'm going to ask you, where are your standards? Where's your leadership when this play goes on? Sonsi runs past right behind you. And Tim Kelly, you're just going half rat pace. You are just absolutely out the back. This is Sonsi. He ran straight past you. And now have a look at 4 Richmond players on their own running inside forward 50. Tim Kelly wasn't the only player that stood there and watched players run past. But if I'm the coach, I'm asking, where are your standards? There's a lot of West Coast players there just standing, and Tim Kelly was probably the leader of them.
Well, the answers are with the coach potentially, Andrew McQualter. Browny, only 1 win to this point of the season, and he does seem to be out of answers.
I think we're seeing a team and a group that they're trying, they're working hard, but they're clearly just in such a void of confidence and whatever that is. But you look at that first quarter tonight, and it was a pretty dominant quarter of football. We go down quarter time down on the scoreboard, and I just think it's hurting deep in the souls of our players.
Hey, TJ, can I just say, I played 1 season where we won 5 games. It was the longest year of my life, football-wise, so I can only imagine 1 win and now 17 losses. It's just a nightmare. You just want the season to end. He's spot on, no confidence whatsoever, and they hit rock bottom. I'd say yesterday being belted the way they did against the Tigers.
Jack Ross has been on the scene for a while, but it feels like he's a bit of a late bloomer.
Yeah, I like the move that Adam Uze's pulled the last 2 weeks at half-time. So Zach Merritt was out of control, 20 touches in the first half. He reeled him in, did a good job, was sent to him to lock him down. Last night, Harley Reid had career-high touches at half-time. He'd had 20. He was the only West Coast midfielder really having any influence on the game. Went to him after half-time, and then they had to push him forward. I think he only ended up with 26 or 27. So Jack Ross, the last 2 weeks, I like the fact that Adam Uze is happy to pull that trigger. Hasn't done it all year until the last 2 weeks. It's been a good move, and Jack Ross has done it well.
As did the Brisbane Lions against the Bulldogs.
And what I like about Brisbane, and I think it's scary coming into the warmer weather of August, September, is them on the fast decks, MCG, Gabba, I don't care where it is. It's just the age demographic of this group, and I'm talking for the next 5 to 7 years, like the players that are at the high end, like Rayner, 25, Bailey, 25, and look at the youth, 22 and unders, and they are all all Australians, like levels. So there could be 5-time. I'm talking Ashcroft's superstars. Logan Morris, one of the biggest bolter of the year. Jasper Fletcher is flying.
He's a star.
Like Loman's not at his best.
He's as good as the Ashcroft, Fletcher.
Yeah, that's so. It's scary, TJ, what they've put together.
And the other thing is they can all kick, and they are the best kicking side in the competition. I think out of all the elite kicks in the competition, I think Brisbane have the most elite kicks in the competition, headed up by Hugh McCluggage. I just think they kick the ball better than any other side in the comp.
How'd my man go? It would.
Eric?
Yeah.
No, he was quiet. He was quiet.
No, not from what I saw.
Handful of
He was the
touches.
game changer. Hey, Damo, just a bit of a word from you first before we get to what caught my eye. And I'm looking at you, Llordo, for that. But the Tassie election, what does it mean for the Devils and the stadium?
Probably the AFL's none the wiser, TJ, on the back of the election yesterday. It's always complicated politically down there in Tasmania. Look, Liberals seem to have 14 seats or thereabouts out of the 35. Labor has between 8 and 10. But as always, there's the Greens and the Independents, TJ, the talk pure politics here, who may end up with control or at least the power, so to speak. And that's probably not an ideal outcome from an AFL perspective. It doesn't ultimately mean anything right here as we speak today because there'll need to be arrangements and deals done. But it doesn't, I don't think anyway, bring it closer to being a formality, that stadium being built on the back of the election.
It's looking grim, isn't it?
You're big on this, aren't you? You've actually been studying this, I think, quite closely from afar, and you don't like the result from an AFL perspective yesterday.
No, because there's just too many independents there, Greens, etc. But the thing is, just don't make it wholly and solely based on the stadium. Right, we've got to have a team, right? You've got to have a team. We're
beyond that point of the argument.
No, it's just
no stadium, no team.
You've got to. Okay, that's so fanciful to actually have that argument because just worry about the team for the moment. You've got a stadium in Launceston, you've got a stadium in Hobart, work through the motions, eventually get that stadium up and running. But isn't the priority to actually have a team?
No, it's not. It's to have the stadium first and then...
But
I'm not making that case. That's what the AFL has said.
I find that churlish.
Yeah, that's fine. But that's what the clubs have agreed to. Yes.
Yeah, but surely the priority is to have a Tassie team and give them what they've deserved over the past 30, 40 years, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't disagree with your sentiment, but that's not the way it's playing out, and that's not what the clubs have agreed to go down the path of.
All right, well, let's see how it pans out over the next week or so when the counting continues and all that sort of stuff. In the meantime, though, it is time for What Caught My Eye, and I might get the ball rolling here. Now, Llordo, in your deep dive last week, Andrew McLeod, I mean, absolutely sensational. And what I found even more sensational was the fact that you not only present a segment on others, but you managed to insert yourself. I mean, here was you involved in this incident with Andrew McLeod. So it was a self-insertion and a deep dive all rolled into one. Now, from my understanding and going through AFL tables, you kicked 6 that day?
I'm not sure,
Yeah, you did.
Sure, yeah.
And you had a chance to actually kick a 7th after the siren. This is it here. Have a look at the score. Have a look at the score. An easy win for the Bombers. It goes out on the full. Have a look at how filthy this place is. Your team is just rocked home. But because it's all about Llordo.
They made a goal bonus or something in my contract. I'm coming back at you here, So you've never been compared or likened to a sportsman before because of your skills. That's fair to say that, like with your handball and your running patterns and all that, running around the track. But for the first time ever, you're about to be likened to a sportsman, and it is Paul Gallen, and I'll show you the reason why.
For someone that charges his own players $10 a head to come to a barbecue at his house, this type of character, having to go at mine, I see that as a compliment.
And then you want to make up a lie about a $10 barbecue. That was I actually thought it was pretty funny until it was discredited by every single person.
When someone like that, of his character, points at me and tries to give me a moral lesson, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
No, anyway, we've found something for you, TJ.
Yeah, that's good. I like your style. I like your style. You've boxed.
And well.
Yeah.
Kane?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Now, Llordo, as we know, is just about the complete package in life. But, Llordo, I'm worried about your eyes. I think you need to go down the 4 eyes stakes like me because you're not calling well for these poor handballers. Look, that was a 5 and you gave it a 2. There's a 7 there and you gave it a 5. And then there's another one here. That's Lucas Webb of last week. And then there's another one here, Rolly West. Now that wasn't 5 and you gave it a 7. So I'm a bit worried.
What are you saying there? That's a 7, isn't it?
No, you're getting these horrendously wrong, Llordo. And you then had a reaction. You gave me the death stare last year when I may have got an incorrect score on you on the handball.
Come on, Llordo.
Oh.
5. Look at the look. So you may not be able to see clearly these days, Llordo, but you've still got looks that can kill.
That's great. I hate losing, TJ. I hate losing.
How do your Hailbury boys react when they cop a stare like that?
They know. They just know to do the
know.
right thing.
Hey, a lot of tipping competitions around Australia at the moment, and there's a lot of money up for grabs. So you need some tipsters you can trust. And TJ, after Eric Hipwood comment last week, I was just a bit worried. So I want to go through Nat Unity's fantastic. Get the coalface. Andrew Gaze, Jordan Lewis, Gary Lyon. We've got Rory Sloane. Even Jace Hawkins there, 102. These are the elite tippers we've got in all the papers at the moment. So you go down Maddie Stokes, Joey Montaigne, Chloe Malloy, Jimmy Bartell, our very own 101. Then they're over 100. Clint Stanaway over 100. Buffaloom, cricketer, now starting to get a bit low. And 95, Tony. You're just above the kiss of death down here, which is number 40. The kiss of death, Tony.
Kiss of death.
Yeah, it only took 30 minutes and we managed to get it in. Well done.
Well, Tony, I've found some exclusive vision as well from one of our panel members. And we've got some rude panel members here, Llordo. And the first one I want to show is Browny. He loves his money, Browny, as well, and that cost him $5,000 for flipping the bird. And Damo, very uncouth here.
Oh, Damo.
Yeah. Brad Klebanski.
Yep. Yeah. But we've got some exclusive vision. And, Llordo, I want to ask you first, what's your favourite ever vision on the Footy Show?
Favourite ever vision? I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Well, you're no good, Nate. What's yours?
I like TJ running around the track in the white T-shirt.
Oh, was that against North Melbourne doing the 2K time trial?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I reckon we should have a look at it here.
Come on, TJ.
It's not a glowing endorsement.
No, it's just a little flip the bird there. So, Tony, I thought you were better than that, but that was the first of 3 mistakes. The first one was doing it. The second one was wearing the white shirt. But the third one, flipping the bird. That's $5,000.
And you could have actually prepped me up and asked me to start.
He prepped me.
He prepped me.
Well, you're wanting $5,000? Mate, I want to cough up $12 for the $5,000 for the fine. All right, that wraps up what caught my eye for this week. You're happy with that, no, aren't you?
He's good.
Kiss of death.
He's good. Kiss the death, yeah.
All right,
tipping's not good.
Sorry?
Your tipping's... You're at the bottom of everybody in the tipping.
Yeah.
Everybody. In Australia.
OK, righto. Want to go beyond Australia?
Well, yep, international too.
Right, OK. Well, let's... All right, you are watching the Sunday Footy Show. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Free kick, Carlton. Marc Pittonet will kick from well outside 50 after the quarter-time siren.
He never kicked these at training, Jack.
He's going to kick the barrel.
Well, I tell you what, everyone on this show is entitled to a right of reply, including Marc Pittonet. Good morning, Marc.
Morning.
Well, is there anything you'd like to say to Izzy?
I just want to thank Izzy for the continued support. It's not the first time he's doubted me on a set shot, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
Well, in my defence, Pitto, I've never seen you hoof one that far. And I did then take a listen back, and you said you got a couple of cousins that do punting, so that's why you only took 3 steps. But, mate, knocked me over with a feather. I never thought that was going through.
Yeah, no, well, I think in the past you usually came running past for a handball, so I think that was your natural instinct. But, the punting practice came in handy.
OK, and just to clarify, a couple of cousins who like punting as in the kicking punting. Yeah, as opposed to anything else. We don't need to send alarm bells ringing at the AFL. Hey, before we talk more to Marc, tell us about the match last night in terms of the score and the stats.
Yeah, so great win for Carlton. Just what they needed. So, it's been under a lot of pressure. No club's been under more pressure than Carlton and their coach and some of their senior players. Moya kicks 4 goals. He had 3 career goals before that. Charlie Curnow, fantastic to see him get off to a good start. Cripps back to his best. Weitering, as I touched on, and Pickett. It's one of the great individual games you're ever likely to see. And Marc Pittonet had a wonderful battle with Max Gawn. I want to ask you about that, Marc. When you're preparing for Max Gawn, what are you looking to do? What's the keys to try and stop his dominance?
Well, I don't think you can ever really stop the dominance. I mean, it's hard when you get someone who's taller, good runner, can take a contested mark, hit the scoreboard. So, it's sort of just picking your poison, I find. So a lot of it's just off the ball work, getting help from my teammates, and just trying to stay alert. His reactions are so quick that you just got to really be on, because if you let him get goal side, he's gone. If you let him get a look at the aerial ball, he's going to get it. So it's just staying on for 120 minutes.
And Pitto, I'm sure you noticed this, but underneath you had Cripps and Oliver effectively going head-to-head. I thought they were both very good last night. 29 disposals for Cripper, 26 for Oliver, but it was the clearances and the contested work they did underneath you.
It's the handball away. Williams also relief for him.
Yeah, no, they were great. I mean, they're just two balls that go at it. They've been that good at it for that long, so it was nice to actually see them go head-to-head, because they were just all over each other.
Marc, obviously you've been playing in recent weeks alongside Tom de Koning, who has had a lot of the football world's focus on him for the decision he has to make. Is there an insight you can just provide our viewers today without giving up the confidences of conversations with Tom? And because he actually had some really good moments last night after probably a month of poor form compared to how he had started the year.
Oh, I had some massive moments last night. We look at the one where he got caught high in the middle of the ground, and then the massive mark he took at the end of the game where I think 2 points for the difference. He's just, the work he's putting in, I mean, you guys seen the mark right now, that's an unbelievable mark. But the work he's putting in, he fronts up every week, he gives energy, and we just love him as a teammate, and he's just competing and putting the work in, so we're just loving everything about him at the moment.
Pitto, we have a lot of players in this competition who can't use the opposite side of their body, but then Ashton Moir comes in and he has one shot on his left, one shot on his right. Tell us more about this freakish individual.
Oh, the X factor he's got is unbelievable, and it's thought through. It doesn't matter. He will tell you he will kick left to right, depending on where he is, what his last shot was, what his next shot will be. It's one of those players that I don't know if he knows what he's going to do next time. So, he's an exciting prospect, and he's just getting better with games.
Marc, sorry to go back to the whole ruck scenario, but how have you felt? Like, you've been sort of you're the party in it as well, where everyone's talking about the Koning, but you're the number one ruckman currently. So do you seek anything from the club, wondering where it stands, new ruckman coming in? How have you felt through all of this situation?
No, not at all. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so pretty much the way that I view it is just get out, do my work, help my teammates, play well, whatever standard I'm playing at, and all that stuff just looks after itself, I find. But I mean, if you're not performing, then that sort of stuff will happen anyway. So all I can control is my performance and my role in the team. So when I've come back in the last few weeks, it's just working in with King, working with what the team needs me, which changes between Darcy Cameron to Oscar McInerney, Darcy Ford to Max Gorn again. So I've played sort of slightly different roles every week, and it's just building off that, really.
Marc, the whole footy world's going to have a view on the Stephen May, Francis Evans hit last night. You were out there on the ground. Obviously, Evans came off with a bloodied face, and we expect in this panel for there to be a three-match outcome from a match of the office perspective. Have you given it much thought? And as you look at it now, can you just take us through what you observe?
Funny you use those choice of words. I actually wasn't on the ground. I was on the bench when it happened, so I hadn't seen any of the footage. I saw Frankie come off and was just flat for him, because up until that point he just had such an impactful game for us. So no, I haven't had a chance to have a look at it at all.
And Pitto, just one final one. You're standing next to a door there and you're a big man. Can you actually fit through there or not?
It's a low-hanging door, I'll be honest. I stand directly underneath. I do brush it with my hair.
Right, OK. Hey, can you tell us a little bit about Carlton Respects, which is an initiative the club's been on board with for quite some time now, and you're an ambassador of which?
Yeah, so Carlton Respects, we've been going for 10 years, which is our flagship program just aimed at reducing domestic violence, and by reducing, obviously, 0 is the only acceptable number, which we strive to get. We build it off, we've got a school program, which is the Road to Respect, where the club goes into primary schools and educates kids, particularly primary school kids at this point, on sort of respectful relationships, because we see that as the grassroots for what, if we can establish those grassroots relationships early, then later in life we can get ahead of these issues as more of a preventative thing. And then we've also obviously got the men's and women's game, last night being our men's game, to raise awareness, raise funds, to get to more schools, and just keep bringing up the conversation in media, so that people have these conversations at home with their friends, with their families. We've got a workplace charter as well in addition to that. So for me, it's really important. I think for most people, it's really important. So any attention we can get to it just means the world.
Fantastic, Marc. Well said. To the votes last night, Pickett, as I said, outstanding performance, one of the great individual performances. I wanted to give him a clear 9 and 7s for the rest.
Were
he
you
was
tempted
that
to
good.
go 10?
Yes, I was. I got put off by some suggestions that he didn't play on a winning side, but whether that should matter, I don't know. But Cripps, Weitering and Moyer get 7.
All right, terrific stuff, Marc. Great to have you on board, and you've got some terrific prizes coming your way.
They do. A family pass to Gumbaya World, where water slides, thrill rides and wildlife collide. Just look out for the quackers.
They bite.
A Hit Fit membership, combined bodyweight and boxing for a full body workout, and you'll be best dressed on the golf course thanks to Clutch & Co. And we'll kit you out in Catstar, Brad Close's clothing brand. Be close. Your swing, your style. A box of Chrome Tour golf balls and a cap thanks to Callaway. Good friends of the show. Bar Fridges Australia are back for all your beer and wine cooling needs. Bar Fridges Australia is your one-stop shop. A pair of Aquila's premium quality footwear since 1958. Rixie, a pair of Rix eyewear that inspires confidence. And TJ loves a free meal, so we'll give you one at Platform 28, the best pub in the Docklands. Elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear style from St. Goliath and 2 pairs of hybrid undies in a mid and a long leg. I imagine you're a big man, you'll need the longer leg from the Better collection. They've sewn elastic into the groin, which is an absolute game changer. Treat yourself to a batch of Daniel's Donuts. Book delivery online today, and some caps from Travis Matthew.
I'll tell you what, great prize back there, Marc. So, well deserved. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to need those golf balls in particular. Isaac's seen me on the golf course, so thanks for that.
I reckon you might need the big jocks as well.
We'll take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. The Hawks and the Tigers coming up after this. When's Rory back? Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Little wardrobe malfunction during the break there, Nath, that we might see when you're actually up there a little later on.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you spilled your pie all over your pants, and now you've got a big stain on your pants.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Are you doing a TJ?
What's that?
A denial.
Lying.
Clubhouse leader, my friend. Let's take a look at Hawthorn. Not quite clubhouse leaders, but they're sort of getting back on track.
Yeah, and it was an interesting game down there at Launceston. The weather was horrific, but I thought Jarman Impey was excellent. He ended up kicking goals late, but he was brilliant down in defence. But you have a look, Gunston, 3 goals. Lukosius was a really solid player for Port Adelaide, and the disposals, Moore, Hardwick were brilliant for Hawthorn. Ollie Wines and Burgoyne found a fair bit of it for Port Adelaide as well.
Jack Gunston outstanding again, is he? Yesterday, he was kicking goals from the pocket. He almost kicked goal of the year, which was touched right on the line. But everybody was having issues with the wind and the conditions. Have a look at that. That is what Jack Gunston does. And he kicked one from the boundary here. That's brilliant. And there's a reason why he's playing such good footy at his age, and he is dominating.
He is dominating. He's making the most of his opportunities, and I still think he's in all-Australian contention the way he's been playing. And he's finishing and he's all class and loving how he's going about it this year. But today was probably... yesterday. Oh, well, this could have been.
This would be goal of the year.
It would have been.
It was touched.
Touched. In those conditions, it was horrific, and it sort of just highlights the stadium point of view after watching it yesterday. But it was all about the man, Jarman Impey. I thought he was brilliant down back, and then what forwards hate is when a defender gets swung forward and then he kicks 3 goals in the last quarter, because he came down there in terrible conditions. He made it look very easy, and he just found himself in really good spots. Got to the drop of the ball, got out the back when he needed to.
He had a chance to kick a 4th as well.
Well, he did, and that was the easy one. He didn't know what to do with it. He was a defender. He was a deer in headlights with that one. He could have given it off to 3 blokes or just knocked it through, but I just thought he's having an outstanding year, and I thought he was absolutely outstanding yesterday.
Yeah, one player who hasn't quite been at his best this year is Dylan Moore, but he was back to his best yesterday. So last year he was just dominant, all-Australian, and he just gets big possessions. He could kick 4 or 5 goals in a game as well. Games like Heaney and Pickett have had, he was having those games. He hasn't quite been there, but yesterday had 32 disposals, 2 goals, 6 clearances, 7 score involvement, so they need him up for the final.
Yeah, they do need him up. It was good to see him going, and it was his start, Llordo, that got him going. He had 7 touches in about the first 15 minutes, and he built confidence off that. So it was great to see him start well, and I got him in the votes, but I thought Jarman Impey was the best on ground with 9, Dylan Moore 8, Blake Hardwick was absolutely brilliant, and so was Gunston.
Jarman Impey, I reckon, post-career, I think he's got a job in the media. I think whenever I see him speak, he's engaging. I think he would be very good in the media when he finishes.
Excellent. Alrighty, West Coast and Richmond. Another very disappointing day for the West Coast Eagles.
You're a negative man.
And the Tigers, well, they continue to build this new era.
They do, Mr. Negative. Popper had 33, Taranto 30 was outstanding. Taranto 30 and kick 3. Mansell was good, one of his best games. Jonty Fall keeps improving. Harley Reid was their best. He was tagged after half-time. But it was the Taranto and Hopper show yesterday, the 2 senior players.
It was, and they got a young player by the name name of Seth Campbell. And I want to show you, he's in the centre of the ground here on Baker. So there's Seth Campbell, number 44 on Baker. And the run and the carry. So Baker's still in the centre circle. Campbell, the run, the carry. Their ball movement, Browny, you showed it off the top. It was unbelievable yesterday. So I know Uze's rated highly, wasn't he, at Melbourne for his ball movement?
Yeah, no, he was brilliant. He was rated highly at Melbourne and at Hawthorn. He did a lot of work with Hawthorn's offence and ball movement over the 10 years he was there as well. And you see he's getting the best out of these young players, and I think hats off to him. I think they're doing a great job.
And Browny, Taranto and Hopper, obviously, Floston, Nankervis, you throw Broad in that. They're older players, while these young players are coming through, are actually more crucial right now for what they're doing, aren't they?
And they've been really competitive, and they've been competitive all year. There's been a couple of games they've lost by 10 goals, but you'd have to think Richmond supporters are pretty happy with how they compete on a week-to-week basis. Let's have a look at the votes from yesterday, and I thought Taranto was the best man on the ground, along with Hopper. Sonsi was very good, and Vloston, I almost got Harley Reid in there, but I just thought a 9-goal win, it was all Tigers.
All right, and Seth Campbell, of course, re-signed with the club, so he's there for another
4 years, yep. He could become a very good midfielder as well.
Absolutely, and Luke Traynor, Rising Star nominee.
Absolutely,
so,
Megan's brother.
Megan Traynor.
Yeah.
The singer?
Yep.
I don't think so. All right, we'll take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show. The deep dive is coming up next. A man that you've seen at very, very close range. Yes.
Yes, sorry. I was lost by the Traynor comment.
You're lost.
You're lost. The deep dive this morning centres around the fullback of the century, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and that is Stephen Silvagni. Look at this record, 312 games, 2 premierships, 5 All-Australians, Carlton Hall of Fame legend, AFL Team of the Century, if you don't mind, at fullback, and he's in the AFL Hall of Fame. Could do it at both. He would have been a Hall of Fame legend at full forward or fullback. That's how good Stephen Silvagni was. But we've got vision way back from when he was at Marcelin College playing there and doing great things. Just his movement, even there, Steve Silvagni. You look at his boy Jack Silvagni that plays now, you can see the movement, a lot skinnier there, but the courage to go back with the flow of the ball, the way he'd waddle himself down the ground. And here's Steve Silvagni making a speech, and they beat Assumption College way back when, Damo, when he was playing for Marcelin.
Yeah, he was, and in '86, Llordo, playing his 4th game, he got a real lesson against one of the other greats of the game, Pittonet of Hawthorn. He set the tone early with a beautiful mark, and he could take a lot of those types of marks throughout his career. But on this particular day, you can see the young football body against the seasoned football body and mind of Peter Knights. And Knights ended up kicking 9 goals in that Hawthorn win. But you could just see there he was prepared to go against one of the greats and held his own initially before he sort of got a lesson in that early stages. But you just see that body develop over the course.
Yeah, absolutely loved him as a kid. I thought he was an absolute superstar. And it's the 87 premiership we're going to take a look at here. Silvagni celebrating. He got dropped in '86 for the grand final loss, but he was able to fight his way back in the team and had a bit of impact on the day. It was David Rees-Jones that won the Norm Smith playing on Durham that day. So big day for Carlton, a big day for Sauce.
How old would he have been then, Damo, in his first premiership?
Maybe 19, 20,
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. He, but he always had that name, didn't he, being the son of the great. And obviously, as you've already alluded to, Llordo, produced another very good Carlton player himself.
Our fullback of the century. And what made Stephen Silvagni great was his ability to just not beat you. There's him playing back with Bruce Dool. Oh, what a person to learn off at Carlton. But his ability to repel and run off. So a lot of the fullbacks in that era would just try and spoil, and they were dour, whereas Silvagni changed the game. He was so good at ground level, so quick off the mark, so strong in the air, so he didn't really have much of a weakness. Look at that, off the mark, Stephen Silvagni. So, Browny, you're a Blues man. You would have loved watching.
I was a massive Blues man. He used to own a restaurant on Brighton Road down there where it becomes Nepean Highway, and it was Navy, and it was called Big Silvagni's in White. And I went in there one night, and the only man there was Jeff Hogg, so Matty Hogg, so I didn't get to see him. But
that's a good story.
This is it was a great story, Tony. I don't know why I told it at that point, but he did play on some of the greats, Llordo. So he played on some of the greats, and you speak about these great players. It was Hurd that he played on. It was Ablett, it was Salmon, Lockett and Carey. So this was an era where every player you came up on was a player who could get 100 goals in any given season, and he went head-to-head with them all and just about beat. He got beaten sometimes, but more often than not, he did the beating himself. So he was brilliant, Sauce.
TJ, there's him and Ablett. I used to love. It's the best era of football, in my opinion. TJ, what was your favourite era of football? I want to ask you. Because I loved when there was pure one-on-one battles like that.
Yeah, and I would say, and obviously I'm a bit older than you guys, I loved the 70s. Yeah. It was absolutely brutal. And David Parkin always makes that comment about when they trained, they used to do circle work and play straight down the ground, and now they do circle work, and at train they go straight down the ground. That's what David Parkin said. And
he was a gun forward, so 202 career goals, Stephen Silvani, and also kicked 10 goals in a game of football against Fitzroy. So, as I said, they were blessed. Well, they had Kernahan down one end, but if Kernahan wasn't there, what could he have done?
And crucial goals, Llordo. And just to get your heads around it, as you've already said, the fact he kicked 200 career goals, as well as being the AFL Team of Century fullback, it's a CV and a skill set that no one's got. Certainly not in the modern game, anyway.
It raised a few eyebrows at the time when he was named fullback of the century.
Yeah, it might have. He was still quite young then, TJ. That would have been done in 1996. And he was, he would have been still probably late 20s in that period of time. And there are other great fullbacks. But I think what he did after that validated the decision to make him that, because he still stayed a very good player 10 years after that team was named.
We've seen plenty of marks. We saw the Peter Knights one there. But it wasn't just his marking ability. It was the courageous nature of the markings. And, in 1988, for example, he was quite rightly given Mark of the Year. But he was a high flyer in every sense, wasn't he?
He was. He took Mark of the Year multiple times. The one on, I think it was Gavin Krasiska at centre-half back.
I think he just got the one in 88.
The one in 88. So, but he absolutely flew time and time again. As you said, most of them were courageous, and he was acrobatics. And have a look at that.
Just eye on the ball the whole time. Eyes on the ball.
Never left anything out there.
We look at those ones of Jonathan Brown and Nick Revolt. Look at that. This one. Anything he does is right up there with those.
And those battles you've already alluded to, Llordo, yourself was in that mix when it came to Stephen Silvani, and famously in this. No, we're going to the Michael Long goal here too, which he always maintains he touched on the day itself and in the 20 or 38 years since. He's always maintained he touched it. 28 years. Yep. And then 99 was the famous or infamous from an Essendon perspective, Llordo, prelim final. You went head-to-head with him on this day. It was an epic game. It was a game for the ages. Essendon was meant to get through. You didn't. And you guys had a massive duel.
Yeah, we did. He used to wrap you up. So the great thing about Stephen Silvani was Bill, as I said, I admired him because he would play aggressive, but he'd try and tie your arm up. He would hurt you. He would intimidate you with his ability to take grabs. As I said, a lot of the fullbacks didn't do it in that period of time. So he was a wonderful player.
Was there much banter between you two?
Not really, no. Not much banter. The rivalry, we absolutely despised Carlton. I remember one of the first days I got there, Gary O'Donnell said to me, "You must hate Carlton as much as I do." That's how much. And so it was the biggest rivalry I had through my time was with probably Sauce and the Carlton Footy Club.
So whose story was worse there? My Silvani's restaurant one or his?
I thought yours was bad, but yours topped it, I think.
No, but mine was just, I was only repeating David Parkin.
He had a great restaurant though.
Yeah. And David Parkin had I just can't remember the exact wording, but anyway, next time I see David Parkin.
That would have been important. Yeah, it would have been.
And well done to you too. I noticed you got this nice goal in there.
I didn't mind the restaurant one because I never knew Sauce owned a restaurant.
Yeah. And it actually...
You got the wrong hog, though.
I put Jeff Hogg in it.
It was Matthew Hogg.
No, he used to say that at training they would do David, if you're watching, can you let me know what you said? All right, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Media-Ocre, not too far away. And
what it is.
And the SWAT, I think maybe the season's worst question might be in there this year.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Right, but in the meantime, we'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Circle work, right, like at training, and just straight down the...
Yeah. It wasn't funny the first time.
I'm just trying to explain it. That's what they were doing there. Could you explain to me how the Sydney Swans got the better of North Melbourne?
Yeah, well, they certainly got the better of North Melbourne. We'll have a quick look at the stats here, and it was all about Isaac Heaney. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, along with Grundy. Harvey kicked 2 goals there, but Heaney 34, Blakey 29, and Mills. That's what Sydney will be happy about. Mills getting back in those type of numbers, and then Simpkin, Daniel, and Sheasel cleaned it up for North Melbourne.
And they'll be happy with the young man Jack Buller, who's had a couple of good weeks. looks forward. He kicked another couple of goals yesterday, and he had another shot that he probably should. He's probably got to get 3 yesterday. So he's a big sized. He moves well. He's happy to jump at the football as well. And as you can see there, he can finish. So they've had their issues with their tall forwards. Obviously, Armadi's been out for a fair chunk of this season, and he's probably a number 1 forward. But
McDonald's not seen it all, Browny.
That is a nice mark, and this finishing business is beautiful.
Would you still try and get one in, Brownie? Have you seen enough in him that he could be it?
Haven't seen enough, but I'm happy with what I've seen so far. Absolutely.
So, Isaac, you mentioned a little earlier, you haven't put a line through Sydney yet for the finals this year.
Well, mathematically, they're still there. What's going to hurt Sydney is their percentage. You look, I think currently at 9th, it's Western Bulldogs, and they're sitting at nearly 130%. So if they win every game, mathematically they can make it. It's going to be hard, but you see once you get Mills and Goulden back into that side, they turn into a different side.
Votes?
Votes, yes, votes. And Llordo, I didn't get spooked here. I thought Heaney was a 10.
Good. Yeah,
he was absolutely brilliant. Grundy was great as well, an 8. And then I thought Goulden and Mills, you could have thrown a blanket over 7 or 8 of them, but I just thought those two make such an impact to that side.
All right, OK, strap yourself in. It's that segment where nobody, and I mean nobody, is safe. It is Nathan and Media-Ocre.
What did you think of the Pittonet partnership? Bailey struck up with a double mate.
I absolutely have no opinion on that. Could not care less.
If a player shuts you down, you should move on quickly, and definitely not try the same gag twice.
No update on how he's gone?
How he's gone on dates?
Have you struck up a date yet?
I have no idea, and I could not care less. Yeah, yeah. No worries.
There are a few better analysts than Kane Corns. He can see things we can't.
And this is a game saver. Look at the time, look at the score, look at the time, look at the score.
I don't see either, Kane, but that's how good you are. Jay Clarke found out that even the simplest injury reports can prove difficult.
In this win, but there was a big story involving a key defender, Jordan Butts, who suffered a collapsed lung, as you can see here.
John Ralph broke a massive story this week. If it's true.
Brisbane, of course, with their injury prevention, the surf and the sand, just look at their record. The likes of Charlie Cameron and Josh Dunkley and Josh Dacos, absolutely superb.
Not sure the Pies would be happy with that one. Incoming footy boss Greg Swan thinks the games are too long. I'm sure Mitch Cleary agrees.
So it was a strange injury. Mitch might be able to tell us a little bit more about that one, Mitch. Sam Taylor's the other one.
The whole plan there, Kane, is to give Mitch a heads up before you throw down to him. He's got to pick the mic up.
This is what happens late in the quarter when we work with a producer on who we're going to speak to post-game.
Sometimes you can enjoy your own work a little too much, like Dwayne Russell.
Fremantle, who are outside the 8 right now, 9th, but they win this, they'll be back inside. And you don't want to be the kid that doesn't have a chair when the home and away music stops. You don't want to be the kid without a seat when the home and away music stops. And right now, Fremantle doesn't have a seat. And for Fremantle, you don't want to be the kid without a seat when the music stops. And right now, they don't have a seat.
That pales into comparison. The repeat offender, that is Nick Riewoldt.
Don't put Patrick Cripps in the ruck.
You don't put a Rolls Royce in a Dakar
But
rally.
was there a collective panic?
Yeah, you don't drive your Rolls Royce in a Dakar rally, please. When we saw that Gary Ablett Jr was the #1 pick for the Vicks, we were thinking we might go with Kane Corns so we can tag him. And my next pick is going to be Kane Corns so we can tag Gary Ablett Jr and take him out of the game.
Finally, there's a lot to talk about in this game, as Kingy keeps telling us.
Now, we talk a lot about can you coexist as 3 tall forwards. We talk a lot about how Chris Scott sets the game up for his half forward. We talk a lot about how teams are going and what they're doing and the specifics. We talk about their tools and we talk about them in a forward sense. We talk about team offence, team defence. We talk about Clayton. We talk about their corridor ball. We talk a lot about Sam Darcy. We talk a lot about Carlton. We talk a lot about Matty Rowell. We talk a lot about Rankin. We talk a lot about Dawson. We talk a lot about failed key forwards. We talk a lot about Hugh McCluggage. This guy's involved in everything out the back line. We talk about that a lot. We recognise performance, Jay. We recognise performance. If you perform poorly, we talk about you.
We talk about it a lot, but that's Media-Ocre.
Oh, you happy with that?
Just take it for what it is. No, Kingy, take it for what it is. It's okay. Yeah.
I was at that media conference in Geelong with Tom Atkins when those questions, pardon me, were being asked.
Was that bad, was it?
No, it was a little awkward.
Yeah.
well, there's one person you wouldn't ask at Geelong those type of questions, and that's Tom Atkins.
Well, he was standing there, and I thought you'd rather be in a dentist chair having a tooth pulled at the moment than at this media conference. So, yeah, read the room, I would have thought. Hey, we're going to take a break. Quiz is up next.
Quiz is up next. It is certainly. It's all about drafting and father-sons and just the anomalies that come with that.
OK, well, we think we got the theme. Yeah. It's all coming up next on Nathan's Quiz.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Time for everybody's favourite segment, Brownie's Quiz, brought to you by Sportsbet -1.
No, hang on. Sorry, but sorry, it's just been brought to my attention.
Yeah.
I just saw you run in. You said you didn't spill all your identity
look at that.
pants.
They're
Well,
clean.
how come?
I told you I did.
There you are at the start of the show with the darker tan.
That's just
Now
the light
that's you
tone.
there with the light colour.
They're the same
changed
pant
it.
tone.
No,
they're the
not.
same pant. There's just a lighting issue.
No.
Lighting issue.
Who are we playing for? Hey, hello to you too, Tony Barber. Who are we playing for?
Lee Moody in Doncaster, Victoria, Brownie.
I've got Nadia Latte, Cumberland Park, South Australia.
I'm playing for Kath Rook in Horsham, Victoria.
And I'm playing for Alan Sheehan from Macleay Island in Queensland.
Oh, it's Nadia Latte.
Yeah. Wonder what coffee she has.
A latte. OK. $500 on the line, thanks to Sportsbet. This is compromised drafts around father-sons and all the young picks that GWS and Gold Coast got. So it's a look at the draft and father-sons. Question number 1. This is worth 2 points too. Name 2 of the 5 players that GWS took in 2012.
Awareness. Power, Luke Power and Brogan.
Incorrect, -1. With picks 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jeremy Cameron. And...
Incorrect.
Lloyd! Plowman. And O'Rourke.
Incorrect. You want to have a go? Or you want to keep your score?
I'll keep my score.
So the answer was Jonathan Patton, Stephen Coniglio, Dom Tyson, Will Hoskin-Elliott and Matty Buntine. Question number 2. Name 2 Brisbane father-sons from last year's...
Lloyd! Levi Ashcroft and the other one was Jasper Fletcher.
An awareness. He got it right.
He did.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Sorry, you adjudicator and player.
Well, I buzzed it, but then he got it there. So.
OK. Question number 3. Sydney Swans had 4 academy players in last year's grand final.
Lloyd! Callum Mills, Isaac Heaney, and the other one is...
Another 2.
Another one?
2.
Yes, is the runner Campbell.
One more.
You needed 2?
Yes.
And you got 1 wrong.
Oh, did I?
Oh. Yep. Callum Mills didn't play in the grand final.
Yeah, but he got 2.
Yeah, but the first 2 he said were wrong.
So...
No relation.
Campbell and Goulden.
Got him.
He's Goulden one and Goulden one. Yeah.
All right, so here's some father-sons, some great names. I'm not sure who.
Can you go through them for us, Nathan?
I think that's Serge Silvani. That's Stephen Silvani. That's Jack Silvani. The Liberatores, senior and junior. The Dacosses and the Ablets.
Did you see the terrific thing the Western Bulldogs did with Tony Liberatore's mum?
No.
Oh, it was. Have a look online. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll go junior Gary Ablett.
Junior Gary Ablett. 3.
That is good. Let's go, Latte.
In the 2006 Premiership, the Dogs had 3 father-sons in the team.
An awareness. They had Liberatore, they had Hunter.
That's correct. You only needed to name 2. Liberatore, Cordy and Hunter. In 2005, Scott Pendlebury was taken with pick 5 to the Pies.
Dale Thomas, number 2.
Dale Thomas is right, Damo. That is sharp work.
Let's go with Stephen Silvani.
Stephen Silvani. Bad luck.
Sauce.
Yes. He doesn't like you, Damo.
No, he does like me. He actually does.
Does he? Yes. You sure? Oh, gee, he doesn't
TJ
like.
doesn't like me.
No, I think I'm okay. Well, he hasn't got back to me. I
You
sent him a
said
text.
before... Oh, we shouldn't say what you said before
I
the
didn't
show.
say anything.
Gold Coast had the first 3 picks in 2010. Name one of them.
No relation.
David Swallow.
David Swallow, Harley Bennell and Sam Day.
Can't lose.
Famous faces. During the week, whose son committed to Carlton ahead of...
Lloyd! Walker.
Andrew Walker. Well done, Llordo. There's still some points to be had.
We're level, Llordo, you and me.
Minus, get a minus, Llordo.
I'll go Libba, bottom right. Son, Simon Liberatore.
Junior.
Yes.
You can steal a point off someone, Llordo.
Isaac.
Yeah,
OK, Isaac's on 4, Llordo on 1,
like
TJ 0, Damo on -2. Poor from you, Damo.
Hang on, I've got lost minus 3 points, Brownie, on the board.
Hey, big guy.
Closest to the pin. So everyone gets a go. We'll start with you. We'll go
start
down.
with Damo, will you?
Marc Murphy played 300 games.
Yes.
How many did he win?
Oh, sorry, he played 300. How many did he win? Geez, I would say it's almost a 50-50 split. Yeah. So I'll say 175.
A bit quicker next time.
I'll say 130.
140.
121.
Damo, 117. Good get. OK, Melbourne got given what pick in the 2014 draft after James Frawley?
They got pick 3.
Went to Hawthorn. Llordo.
I'll go God.
Llordo, this could win it for you.
You lose a point. And for those playing at home, the run-on, Senior had mute, and the Dacosses had +2 and +1 there. OK, Famous Faces is over. This is Who Am I? My dad played for the same club as me for 5 points.
Hang on. Give us time to think.
I was very briefly captain of my club. In 2002, I shared the Lee Matthews Trophy with Michael Voss.
An awareness. Jonathan Brown?
Incorrect. I had a fiery clash with Dan Andrews during COVID. Luke Darcy for 2. TJ, you go to 2. But Isaac, you got the lattes today.
Thank you. No, she'll be very happy, Nadia, in South Australia.
Nice work. Yeah. $500 coming your way, Nadia Latte. If you want to join in, wwws.9.com.au/Brownies quiz.
Good work, mate. Plenty to come on the Sunday Footy Show. Stay with us.
We're going to look at the games on Thursday and Friday in the primetime takeaways. And the first we're looking at is Brisbane and the Western Bulldogs. I want to focus on the Western Bulldogs and look at it a little bit differently than what everyone's just saying. They're flat-track bullies and they're 1-9 against the top sides, and say, do we get seduced by their best players who are superstars, 5 of the best 20 in the game, some will say, but their depth is worse than everyone. So I'm going to put up a group of players and say, is this depth of 22, so there's about 8 or 9 players, worse than teams, you know, say, for example, Collingwood, Brisbane, Adelaide, you know, the Giants, or could be even Hawthorns yesterday. And I say it's less than what those other sides are. And this is what hurts them at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is what hurts them. And I think we understand what the top individuals have at the Western Bulldogs, and that's why people are judging Luke Beveridge so harshly, I reckon. I think he's done a great job with these guys, and if you told me at the start of the year were they going to be in the position to win a flag, I wouldn't have thought. They need still development from those 23 to 18-year-old players to come through, and you've seen it a little bit from Sanders this year, but they do have some genuine jets in the competition, but I think that's why you see them win well against teams that aren't as good.
I still think they play finals. Obviously, they're a game out at the moment, but they've got the percentage to do it, and they've got some winnable games coming up. It's got a funny feeling that Luke Beveridge can tinker with a few things defensively before the end of the season, because we know they can score, and when you're losing to those teams by small margins, it doesn't take a lot of tinkering. I know that by round 19 you probably are who you are, but what would you do then, I thought you were rough on James O'Donnell. I thought as a bottom 8 player he's been particularly good this season.
You're not so sure?
No, not so sure. I think maybe he's been asked to do too much. Yeah. So I think he's developing OK, but I think he's being exposed heavily.
They'd love a key defender.
Yeah, that's right.
A genuine key defender, they'd love one.
Yeah. Yeah, to the other game, I just want to ask you, TJ and Damo, on your rankings and everyone else, the Giants' hot streak that they're on. So they towed up a team that they should beat in the decimated Bombers, but their last 5 or 6 weeks has been outstanding. Look at the scalps in the last 6 weeks. So Brisbane by 11 points, the Suns by 7 points, Geelong by 26 points. So this is good form coming in. So, and I've heard some players say, Damo, we're just taking some time. He's adjusted a few things at him.
And we've seen them do it before, haven't we? In 2022 and 23 and 4, and they have let themselves down in finals in key moments. Maybe they're just gathering momentum now, Llordo. I've still got them just, look, clearly and obviously below Collingwood and Brisbane, but I think they're on a par with everyone else when they're best. Is that best?
Sorry, the next 2 weeks will be telling, won't they? Like today? They play Adelaide?
No, that's the Suns. That's the Suns.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, GWS.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on them.
Oh, yeah.
I think they need the extra midfielder. At the moment, it's Tom Green and Callaghan who get the job done, right?
Yeah.
I think Josh Kelly is a wonderful player, but I look at him and go, I think he's got more to go. I think he's got a bigger ceiling, and I don't think we've seen the best of Josh Kelly. Will we ever see the best of Josh Kelly? If I was Kingsley, I wouldn't be happy with the performance they put up against Essendon the other night, and I'd be putting it on him. Can you be our star at the end of the season and finals? Because he's got that in him. I don't think we've seen his ceiling yet. If he can add to the midfield mix of those other two, I think they're a big chance, but I need Josh Kelly to play the best football of his career.
Yeah, and I think if you ask the coaches at GWS, they would say it's their midfield because their back line and their forward line are so stacked. They had Taylor and Hogan out on the weekend once you get them back. But Cadman's come on. But it is those midfielders. But I think inside they're actually okay. It's the wings and they're just not sure where they're at the moment.
Just to finish off, so Brisbane and Collingwood are the best.
Yeah.
Who have you got?
I think they're right there with them.
Ahead of Adelaide?
Yeah, I think GWS are every bit right there with them, especially if they can sneak a home final.
Where's Geelong?
I think they're sitting maybe with Adelaide just below GWS.
All right. Lou Richards medal?
Lou Richards medal, let's have a look at it. And I think Nick Dacos has been in front for a long time and he is still in front. Noah Anderson coming hard. He gets to play this afternoon, TJ. Wanganeen Miller on 71. Butter's going well, Sarong, and they're all playing for the best prize pack in the business. Lexus of Blackburn. This is a $55,000 500 beast of a car. Have a look at how nice that looks. They've been very good to us, Lexus of Blackburn. Head out there. The after-sale service is good. Brilliant coffee too.
Great coffee.
The lattes out there were very, very good. But Lexus of Blackburn, brilliant.
All righty, we're going to take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. Damo's been beavering away down the end there, just getting his agenda ready, and he'll bring that to you right after this.
You can do whatever you want after you win a flag. So I don't think the Doggies own that song.
They were definitely salty.
Yeah. And I got yanked up into the lifesaver boat, got like genuine hypothermia. Like I'm shaking and I'm just like, I'm not going to make AFL. Like 3 weeks in, like, this is the hardest thing ever.
What about this one? Shit.
Relay. Shit, this is... That's must be Greek.
It's not Greek.
Never quite know what to expect on players, but you can find out for yourself Monday nights after Footy Classified, or you can catch it on YouTube. Great lineup this week again. Isaac Quaynor, Trent Rivers and Brian Myers. Check it out. Check your local guides. If you haven't seen players yet, join the party. Damo's along next with his agenda.
Yeah, TJ, the man now with the biggest job in football is Greg Swan, officially finishing up as CEO of Brisbane Lions, spoke with Channel 7 post-match about what may happen under his watch. It starts tomorrow at AFL House. Set of footy and quarter length is one topic for him.
Swanee, do you want shorter quarters?
Yes. You know, they average 35 minutes now. You know, we wait too long for people to set up and, you know, it's you know, we should, from a ruckman point of view, if there's enough people around the stoppage, just ball it up and get on with it, you know, like, so I think that's a thing that we need to look at, and that might be able to be changed relatively quickly, so we'll see.
So we're going to whip through these topics quickly today, Brownie. Do you like what you're hearing there from Greg Swan?
I like the quarter lengths the way they are. I think they can speed up other elements of the games, but it sounds like he's in charge. He wants shorter quarters.
He'll keep it at 20 minutes as far as we can tell, but just bring in the tightening up of the ruckman being allowed to contest.
Perfect. Common sense.
I think that's what will happen there. The sub rule, a problem with, I reckon, about 75% of footy clubs. Here's Swanee on that particular topic.
It's really awkward for... It's awkward for the coaches. The longest part of the selection committee is who's the sub. You know, it takes it half an hour to work out who the sub is.
And it's particularly problematic, Llordo, when a sub is given to the person playing his first game of football, as has happened regularly.
Yeah, no one likes it. And I think they hate naming a sub. They hate having to remove someone from the game as well. So I think that we trust the doctors that much now that they're not going to leave a player on if he was concussed.
So just 5 interchange rather than 4 and 1?
Or even just 4.
4, yeah.
It's a war of attrition. Even if you're down to 2, so be it. You can still win games that way.
I feel they'll keep it at 5 being a total, but just a straight sub, no... straight interchange, no subbing. Izzy, I'll get you to pick up after you hear Greg Swan on the match review office.
One of the things I think we also should do is actually explain why we get to a decision that we get to. So I think I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do that. Like, so Michael Christian, I think Michael Christian might have a bit more of a role in the media to explain how he's got to certain decisions. So.
Now, love Swanee, love the common sense, and the fans, they want to hear. So I think it's a great idea. Can
I just say Michael Christian is very open to being in the media. I think there's others within AFL headquarters that put the clamps on him. Yep,
I'd agree with that. And one more on the Greg Swan list of items to contend with early days. TJ, I'll get you to pick this one up after you hear what he says about the centre bounce.
And are you a fan of the bounce, yes or no?
No, I don't like the bounce.
There we go, that's our answer then.
So I feel it could go. As we know, it is used to start each quarter and after every goal when it goes back to the centre. It's an issue with what's been happening with umpire contact.
It's a unique part of our game, but I get that it can be clumsy at times. I would have it at the start of each quarter.
Only.
And that is it.
Yeah. So that's where all that's at. A big job for Greg Swan. Maybe fixturing could become part of his portfolio too, because it's a mess late in this particular season. We've just highlighted these games still to come. Now, round 21's not there, but either Carlton or Essendon are going to appear prominently in what's ahead still with the marquee slots. And even in round 24, they've actually got to play each other before Essendon has that double-up match or that postponed match from opening round against the Gold Coast Suns, which ultimately is the reason these matches are being fixtured this way, to basically take in that this game needs to be played twice and Essendon needs to play twice in that round 24. It's a mess, Browny, the way these recent rounds, right through to the end of the home and away season, have been configured with poorly performed teams.
And they went, what was it, late May, where they came up with this? So if they wanted the worst possible scenario, it's exactly what they got. And I don't understand how they got to where we are right now.
How far out could we do it, say, next year? Could it change?
6 weeks.
NFL do 3 weeks.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, could it be like a monthly thing?
We're so conservative, Llordo.
Yeah.
I mean, to Brownie's point, the NFL has a capacity to flex, as they use, that's their term, but that needs to be done 2 or 3 weeks in advance.
Like we still haven't got round 24, so we can do it, and people still flock to the footy, you know, so I don't see why we have to do it so far.
I think it's more of a corporate thing, isn't it? Like catering and that type of thing?
Yes, but we don't have the mindset to want to change it, despite it. I think it would be beneficial to the game. Llordo, you mooted the possibility of change big time at Essendon from the high performance perspective. It was confirmed during the week where Sean Murphy, unfortunately for him, on the back of so many injuries to Bombers players this year, will not have his contract renewed. Yeah,
unfortunately for Sean, you know, everyone's got a career, but with that many amount of injuries, he was always going to be up against it, and now they can get into the open market and have a good crack at moving on to someone new.
Is there a tunnelling issue in the AFL? I won't say it's weekly, but it might be fortnightly where we're talking about an incident. This round it was Jayden Laverde on Aaron Cadman. Now, nothing was decided to be acted upon here by the match review office, but I know that there's a lot of people in football who are just watching this particular behaviour.
Yeah, well, is there a tunnelling issue? I'm not sure. I think what it is it needs to be highlighted to players that we don't want to see this in the game, and then over the summer especially they can go and train it, because you look at that, they're just going up for a contest.
I don't think he doesn't mean
there's no deliberate tunnel. We just don't want to see that action in the game. So players are very good at adapting, but it'll take time.
All right. Good work, Damo. Thanks for that. That was Damo's agenda. Big game at the Cattery today. If you're leaving from this side of the Westgate Bridge, get going now because of the roadworks. Is it, as you very well know?
Oh, it's been tough lately, Tony. There's a lot of roadworks going on.
Cry me a river, Isaac.
Yeah, it'll be worth it.
Nathan?
It'll be worth it. All righty, but Jess Webster left nice and early and avoided all the roadworks. And you've got a special guest with you, Jess.
I do, TJ. I actually had a clean run down the highway, so no issues from my perspective with the traffic. But I am here with James Kelly, Cat's assistant, ahead of the big battle against the Saints today. James, thanks so much for your time pre-game. It is an important game against St Kilda today, coming off a loss against the Giants last week. How have you prepared for the contest?
Well, just exactly that, prepared for a contest. I think given the way we sort of were around the ball and defensively last week, it's been a focus for us this week. But we know that St Kilda play a really high-pressure defensive game, so we've got to be at our best and certainly meet them head-on down here.
Sam Jaconing and Tyson Stengel, two really big inclusions to the side today. Are they raring to go?
Yeah, they're really good. They're really ready. I think both of those guys have had really good preparation over the last few weeks, and Sam in particular, when he got injured, was really keen to get back as quick as he could, and so we're really confident that they can come in and play really well.
And Ollie Dempsey notching up game number 50 today. Talk to me about his journey. We know the season he had last year in winning the Rising Star Award, but it seems like he's become a really important cog in your system and playing some good footy.
Yeah, sort of the way he plays his footy is really unique to Ollie, and we've just sort of lent into that a little bit. You know, we could have quite easily with Ollie tried to fit him into a box, and we just like letting him play the way he plays, and he's a great athlete, and year on year, every year he comes back a bit fitter and a bit stronger, and it's a real testament to the work he's put in really, and just a real gentleman. Everyone loves having him around.
Now, we know the saying 1 week at a time is important, but we are entering a really important block of the season, 6 rounds to go before finals. How do you set set yourself up for success in these next few weeks?
Well, we'd just like to keep working on our game and get our game as close to our best as we can. You know, that sort of doesn't happen overnight, but we want to really start building quarter after quarter, and a bit of momentum as we go in, and a bit of continuity in the team's always important as well. So we've got a big squad, sort of 28, 30 players that we're really confident in, so picking the best team each week's a bit of a challenge as well.
Beautiful day for footy down here at the Cattery. You must love playing on home turf. You've got a very, very good record against St Kilda here at home. They've beaten you the last couple of times at Marvel, but how much do you love playing at home and getting those fans behind you?
Yeah, it's great. You know, it's great for Geelong, it's great for the footy club, and, you know, you look around, you see on a day like today, no one's playing junior sport, everyone comes to the footy in Geelong, so it's a good spectacle for everyone.
Thanks for your time. Go well today, and I'll hand back over to you, TJ.
All right, I think Nathan might have a supplementary question.
Yeah, I was just going to ask James about Bailey Smith. Every time Tony goes down to get an interview with Bailey Smith, he walks past him and doesn't give him anything. Is there any chance that maybe Bailey could just stop for Tony at one point?
What?
Oh, well, is there something personal going on there with TJ? Is there? He's given you a bit of a clip in the past, maybe? Or
Yeah, I think it could be.
I don't know. Who knows? But I'll mention it to him.
I don't have an issue. What are you talking about? James, sorry about that question there, but Nathan is a silly little man. You should know that. All the very best for today and the weeks beyond. And Jess, thank you for your time as usual.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, terrific stuff. All right, when you said I want to ask a question, I thought it was going to be football related.
But you did walk past him down there and you wanted an interview and he gave you nothing. Is that right?
Yeah, he walked past me.
Yeah.
In fact,
Why did you act like it didn't happen then?
He walks past everyone.
Mm.
No, all the
everyone.
people. No. Yes, he does. No. All the others stop to sign autographs and get selfies. He just straight past everyone.
We'll take a break. He just doesn't like you.
Well, he ain't Robinson Crusoe, mate. We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Back with more in just a moment. You're right? Yeah. Back with more in just a moment.
Make the most of the cooler months with a winter retreat at Langham Hotels and Resorts. In Melbourne, Sydney or the Gold Coast, enjoy a room upgrade, buffet breakfast for two, bottle of sparkling and late checkout. The Langham Melbourne, a proud supporter of the Sunday Footy Show.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Now, as you head into Bunnings on Friday, you'll probably notice these around the store. These hoodies here is all part of a campaign. This is a conversation starter, a free professional mental health counselling service for tradies and their loved ones. Now, the hoodies, they're limited edition. 100% of the profits go towards that important network supporting Australia's blue-collar workers. $59 each. And as I said, 100% of those profits head in to support the tradies. It really is a great initiative. I got one of those, actually.
Yeah.
Friday. Yep, I picked
Do you ever go to Bunnings and buy stuff you don't need just because you get excited? You're in there and everything's there and you take it home and... No? You just buy what you need?
I've got 67 buckets. I don't know why, but every time I go to the checkout. But anyway, so I got one of those hoodies. I was both honoured and insulted. Honoured because I got one. Insulted because it was a 2XL. And insulted again because it fits. So anyway, heading in there on Friday, a size for all. All right, still a few matches to complete this round of football.
Geelong and St Kilda down the highway, so you'd think Geelong are good enough to win this and win it well. They need to stay in the top four at the moment. Saints have been a lot better without winning too much football at the moment, but they have played some pretty good sides lately.
I can't wait for the next one, Brownie. 3:15 at the MCG. Collingwood versus the Fremantle Dockers.
The Dockers can win, Llordo.
They can win, but I don't think they will. Collingwood on the rebound could be nasty in terms of the way they should respond.
Yeah, I think it might be, but it's a big Sunday and Adelaide v Gold Coast, top
Good
four
game.
shaper, really big game. I'm looking forward to tuning into this one this afternoon and I think Adelaide might get it done.
Yeah. Righto. And, well, this segment wouldn't be complete unless we had Damo's Animal Fact.
TJ, I often like to introduce a metaphor for the animal fact. As we play the vision, I like to sort of give a little life lesson, but sometimes the vision itself just sells itself, and this is funny. Have a look at this little kid showing this monkey, a fake monkey, genuinely shocked at the toy monkey when he looks around here and goes, oh.
Yeah, one of your best, Damo. Hey, you're back.
Who would make you do that, Damo?
a certain coach did at a Brownlow back in 2015, Llordo.
All righty, don't forget tonight, Footy Furnace with Tom Morris, Jimmy Bartell and James Hurd. Check your local guides in terms of what time it is on, but it is your must-see TV for a Sunday night and, well, in many ways setting the agenda for what might come for the rest of the week. The Stephen May issue, I'm sure, is going to be canvassed as we did earlier in the program as well. That's Footy Furnace. This is the Sunday Footy Show. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It is time for Louis Handball and a couple of keen combatants. They've been practising and...
It's a big score to get, 79. You need 2 bullseyes with your right and 2 bullseyes with your left and 3 sevens each. That gets you about there. So we've seen a few people have a score of 41 and then drop away, like Lucas Webb last week.
With a K.
You get all that?
Nah.
Angus, Clarke and Toby Pinker here. Just hang on a sec, guys. Sorry, let's just go through this again.
Yeah.
So why do you need 2 10s off this hand? Why can't you just have 4 10s off the one hand?
Well, you can. It works that way, but it's very rare that somebody get 4 10s. So I just like to break it up. And I've explained that to the boys. They did understand it. Angus is being a bit silly over there.
Well, maths aren't that good.
No one's maths are that good, mate.
Yeah.
But anyway, Angus, great to have you here. You just living the dream, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm having good fun at Essendon, getting a good opportunity there, and yeah, it's good.
3 goals in your first game. Talk us through it. The whole family was there. MCG, it was a big night.
Dream time.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for my family. Had done a lot of work to get there, a lot of travel, a lot of sacrifice, and yeah, it's just all good to pay off and on the big stage as well.
You read the play so well that night. You kept sliding out the back and kicked some fantastic goals there on Ralph Smith. So what's your best spot, you think? You drafted as a defender, dominated the wing that night. Where do you reckon you...
Yeah, I think more of my attributes come out on the wing. I can run, which is good. And yeah, I just feel I can get forward and I like kicking goals. So when I'm down forward, I like it.
What's this like for you, standing here, talking about your goal kicking with Matthew Lloyd?
Yeah, it's crazy. He kicked a lot more than me. Well, hopefully kick a few more, but I think he's going to be covered in that aspect.
Down the other end, well, Toby Pink stopping a lot of goals. You're in your best form you've ever played, Toby. Congratulations on your season so far. Just continuity, confidence for you this year?
Yeah, that's right. You know, second year coming in, just a bit more comfortable with the team. Played a lot of my footy last year as a forward, actually, so just to be able to go in the back line and play some good footy has been great.
And you're both products of being forced to come into the AFL system via the lower leagues for an extended period of time. There's clear benefits for that. There's a lot of players of your type this year who are starting to have impact in a major way in the AFL, having had similar background storylines.
Yeah, well, you know, them 3 years out of the system, playing in, you know, State League Sandful, just some big bodies in there and just continue to develop my skills has been great, and I think it's a great attribute to, you know, come from that sort of spot.
And both of you got shows, front row seats. Isaac Heaney was fantastic yesterday against you blokes, and also Jake Stringer the other night. Was there a bit of chatter out there?
Yeah, there's plenty of chirp out there on the field. But nah, I quite enjoy having a bit of chirp myself, so it's good.
What was your best sledge?
Nah, nothing to say on here.
And Isaac Heaney was hard to stop yesterday.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, when you got Grundy tapping it to you as well, it's great. And then when he comes forward, it's just a hard match-up to play on.
All right, well, this is the end-of-year prize, OK? So 79 is the score to beat. What do we got, Nath?
This is the best prize pack in the business as we get the Tempur mattress, Tone. I know you've got one at home. I've got a couple at home. Tempur, I'm an ambassador.
Got 4.
These are the best beds in the business. They go into 0 G. Look at that, the Pro Smart 0 G, where astronauts take off and it goes up and it goes down. It's a nice spot to watch TV if you've got a TV. So Tempur, this is brilliant. You sleep well at night on the Tempur, and I'll tell you what do you do then? You go out and you play golf well during the day with the elite colourways. The elite colourways, and you get...
The cover drive.
I hope you don't swing them like that,
Have your Callaway's elite, and you get a custom fitting down at Callaway HQ. So thank you to the team at Callaway, and obviously Jace Nicholas over at Tempur, the best prize pack in the business. $15,000.
And I have got a sore lower back at the moment, so Jace maybe getting
I'm going to introduce you to Jace.
Yeah,
I've introduced a lot of people down there, and they're very happy sleepers.
I'll take you to the store where we actually bought the Tempur as opposed to begged for one. Hey, show us that shot again, the swing? With the
swing?
Oh. Are you a golfer?
Nah, I'm a cricketer. That's cover drive.
Yeah. Move the target.
All right, here we go. You know the rules, 5 off each hand?
Yeah.
Toby's up first.
Let's go, Damo.
Try and get it right this week, Llordo, too, with the calling.
Oh, look at you, in the corner.
Yeah.
7.
7, 14.
Put a bit of oomph into it, mate.
Yeah, there we go, Tony.
You're getting advice off TJ.
7.
Nice, 31.
7.
38, so that's your 5. Now, Angus is up.
Here we go.
Here we go, boys.
5. Oh.
Poor start, Angus.
Must play precedent.
That's better, 12.
7.
That's better, 19.
Getting closer, mate.
Was that a
26.
5?
What?
You reckon 7? Browny reckons 7.
Okay.
Your eyes right, Llordo?
7.
And 31.
You're in front of me.
The Toby Pink has a lead of 7.
You might need Damo's glasses.
7.
45, mate.
Oh! Pinky.
7.
62.
5.
67, last one. That's a good effort. That is a good score. 74 has him up in the... A lot of variety in almost the top 5.
Doesn't do much on the left, I don't think.
33.
7.
40.
Browny. 7.
47.
7.
54.
Still got it, Isaac.
Bullseye to finish with. 74 plays 64. A solid win for Toby Pink from the Kangaroos.
All right, good stuff, mate. What it's on for the rest of the day for you?
Lunch with the missus, so I think we're going out to a winery somewhere.
Beautiful.
What do you got, mate?
I'm getting a slow cooker going, actually.
What are you cooking?
Mum bought me a slow cooker, so getting the red curry going.
Beautiful.
What sort of meat?
Beef.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, good work with your slow cooker there, and good luck with the lunch at the winery. That wraps it up for this edition of the Sunday Footy Show. But as we always say,
may the sun shine on you today and a little bit of love in your life.